So you're getting ready to plant, but you have zero nitrogen in the ground. You've got a crop that's going to take 200 points of nitrogen. What's the most cost-effective way to get there? Stick around. We're going to find out. Welcome back, everybody. Driver53 here, and I've got another precision farming video for you. And you may be wondering, what in the world is Driver doing standing in the middle of this field again, y'all? Well, what we're going to be looking at is different ways that you can fertilize your fields. And is one better than the other when it comes to cost? All right, so what I mean by that is we all know that liquid fertilizer costs different than mineral fertilizer, and slurry and manure, they cost different also. They have different flow rates. So is there one that's better than the other? Is there a combo that might be better than another? So let me go ahead and show you here on this map what we're working with. This field is mostly loam. It's got a little bit of sandy loam in it, and it's got a little bit of silty clay. And right now, if I come across here to my nitrogen, you can see that almost the entire field is zero. I got one little spot up here of what, 60. I don't think it's going to be big enough to throw off any tests, so we just are going to consider that this whole field is zero on the nitrogen right now. The way I got there is I actually harvested a crop that was in here, so it took out everything. I had zero residual left except for that one little spot right there, but I think we're going to be all right. And the way that we're going to measure this is I'm not going to be looking at how much I use and trying to figure out how much I paid for it. We're actually going to use a tool within precision farming itself, and it's going to be the economic analysis option here. So as you can see that I've got mineral fertilizer, liquid fertilizer, manure, and slurry. Each of those are going to have a value associated with them based on how much I use. So I'm pretty excited about that, or at least I'll be able to see how much the total volume is. Okay, so we're going to go through this and work our way around. I can see right now that manure and slurry don't actually have the two, but if you're providing your own for free, then there you go. And if you're buying it, then it's just going to be the best option that you have. So we're going to try and piece together exactly what that would be. I do have this sitting right here, so if I get to a point where I don't know exactly what that value is going to be, then we will give it a value coming out of this machine right here. But we're going to use that economic analysis because I feel like that's going to be important to start using in precision farming so that we can get to compare one year over the next year, right? So I'm going to go ahead and start with a mineral fertilizer right now. This is my tried and true. I use it every single time I do testing. So we're going to go and start with it and kind of make it the control because I know how it's going to operate. What we're going to do is we're going to go and grab a seeder that's sitting over there right now. It's a direct drill, so we're going to be able to seed directly into the ground, and then we're going to come back and fertilize over top of that. So once I get that done, I will come back and show you because I'm not worried about getting to harvest or anything like that. I just want to get the fertilizer on the ground to see how much that is actually going to cost. And then we'll reset and move on to the next one. So we got it fertilized, and it's really, really interesting. I went ahead and filled up and determined how much it was per liter of the product. So the product, we got 3,200 liters, and it cost me $5,632, which is $1.76 per liter is what it is. So I'm still going to figure it that way too. We're having a backup plan just in case. So we went ahead and did all this. Let's go ahead and take a look here at this. So as you can see, the nitrogen is where it needs to be. We are sitting at 180, 2, and 160. So we're right where we need to be there. So if we come back up here to this economic analysis again, you can see that it showed that we used 1,071 liters of product. I'm showing 1,072 liters, so it's pretty spot on. And it probably rounded for me and it didn't hit. So 1,071, but it's showing that it was $1,714 is what it cost. All right. So that's a little bit different than what I got. Now, it all depends on the cost of my materials, right? Based on $1.76, it looks, you know, I got 1887 is what I got, $1,887. Okay, is what it cost me since I filled it up. So really, really interesting. $1,714 to fertilize this field. We're gonna go ahead and move over to liquid fertilizer now, and we're gonna take a look at the same thing. So when I'm done with that, I will come back and show you all these numbers. All right, y'all, so we got done with the liquid fertilizer now, and what we did is we actually applied it at the same time as seeding. So I'm not going to compare the worker cost in this, just the cost of materials, because since I did it this way, I did it for speed of my testing, because I have a lot of different variations that I want to run through. So we just eliminated one step here. And it's going to, like I said, allow me to get through a little bit more, but it's not going to be the same number of steps and the same number of tractor passes up and down. So I didn't want to do total. But let's go ahead and take a look here at the data. As you can see, the field is perfectly good again. And if I come over here to this economic analysis, you can see that the liquid fertilizer, we actually only used $619 worth. So that's crazy, y'all. That's almost a third of the mineral fertilizer. So I think all my testing going forward, we're going to use liquid. I mean, because it's so much cheaper, right? You're going to be able to get so much more yield. Now, I understand that the equipment is a little bit more upfront cost on a liquid system than it is a mineral system. So something to think about. But I think if you're, you know, looking at buying something and money's not the option right then, or the issue right then, I would go liquid every day. And I'm kind of kicking myself because for the past year I've been playing mineral, but liquid is the way to go. When I did it based on price of what I paid for it, it was $8.17, so it wasn't too much off. But really, really cool. Definitely go with liquid. So what we're gonna do now is I'm actually going to put down a layer of manure. All right, then we're going to seed, and then we're going to come back and see if we can put more manure after, because I want to see if you can get all the way to 200 by the different growth stages. So we have crop destruction off, and what I'm going to do, like I said, is every growth stage I'm going to reapply fertilizer or manure. I'm going to try it. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I think another thing that if that doesn't work, I may come back and try, since we've plowed it, I may put down manure, cultivate it, manure again, and then put seed down and see if that does anything. So I've got a couple of different options, and once I get done doing the testing, I'll let you know which one I did and which one works best. So I will see you guys when that is done. We are done fertilizing, or putting manure down. So the really interesting thing is each step. So in the loam, right, it was putting down 80 points of nitrogen. So it was really like 2.5 passes of what I had to make, but I had to wait till it actually grew one. So what I did is I put it down before I seeded, and then I put it down after I seeded, then after the first growth stage. If you put this down first, and then say you cultivate, and then do it in between your seeding and your cultivating, and then you could come back after seeding and do it again, that would be your 3 passes. It is going to take 3 passes to completely fertilize your field with manure, but it is possible, which is really, really awesome. I didn't think that it was actually going to be possible to go all the way up, but this way works great. 3 passes, and it, like I said, it's really only like 2.5. But let's go ahead and take a look at the map here real quick. So as you can see, our levels are right where they need to be. So that is our 200 kilograms. And if we come here, we can see that that is for loam. So that's exactly where we need to be at. If we come back over to here, and we're going to click on this. So this one here, the economic analysis, we don't actually have a monetary value on this. I can see that it cost me, or that I used almost 35,000 liters of manure. And I know that based on how much it cost me to fill up my machine out of the multi-buy silo, it's roughly $0.036, right? So 3.6 cents per liter. So what this comes out to, okay, is this is the cost coming out of the silo, like I said, $1,260. So it's right in between the liquid fertilizer and mineral fertilizer, but it's right dab in the middle, almost exactly. Same size field. So yeah, I honestly feel, since this one's going to take you 3 passes to get it done and you have to wait for a growth stage to happen potentially, this is not the best. It's going to cost a lot more on your worker, I feel like. So I'm probably going to stick with liquid on this one as my best so far. Now, don't get me wrong. If you've got a lot of cows or a lot of pigs, this one is definitely a great strategy. And I think what we're going to do now is look at Slurry by itself, and then we'll come back and throw manure with one of the others, right? We'll do a combo. Probably with liquid, because liquid gave us the best. So we'll see what we can get with manure and liquid together in a little bit. Like I said, next we're going to go to Slurry. All right, everybody, we got the Slurry done this time, and it was the same thing. So whenever you put it down, you're going to get 80 points of nitrogen per pass. So in wheat here on the loam, it took 2.5 times. And it worked really, really well. If you're applying it yourself, though, I found out that you don't need to wait for the growth cycles. It'll just let you put it right over top. So it's going to give you, I guess you could do all three. So if you've got a bigger field and you're using a worker, then you're going to need to wait on those different growth cycles. It will not reapply over top of itself. But if you're applying it yourself and not using a worker, you can probably do all of it all at once. Just boom, boom, boom. So let's go ahead and take a look here at the map. And here we go. As you can see, this is the nitrogen. You can see that everything is right where it needs to be. 200, then 180. So we are good to go there. And if we come across here and take a look at the economic analysis for this field, you can see that we actually used a lot of slurry. 55,504 liters. That is a lot, y'all. But when I was getting it out of the tank, the multi-fill station over there, it came out to 0.034 liters, or 3.4 cents. Sorry, $0.034 per liter. So 3.4 cents is what it was per liter. So it's pretty cheap, but we used a lot. It actually cost us $1,887 in product out of that fill point right there. So if you're getting a lot of this from pigs or cows, then obviously it's going to be free. But if you're trying to buy it right off the bat, it's going to be just as expensive as mineral fertilizer. So for this field, all right, and with the 3 different stages that we have or 3 different soil types that we have. So right now, mineral fertilizer and slurry are exactly the same cost, and they're both the most expensive. So next we're going to go ahead and take a look at digestate, because that one is a truly free, right? You just need silage is all you need to be able to get digestate. So we're going to go ahead, jump over, take a look at that one. I think it's going to be really, really interesting. Now, all these prices, I know that you can get, the slurry and the manure for free, but you've got to have the other investment in the other things. Digestate, you don't have to do a whole lot. You just need to be able to make your silage and then take it over and throw it in the BGA, right? So, I mean, if the BGA is free, then you're making money on your silage, and then this is just a byproduct. So digestate's going to be really, really interesting. I'm really intrigued to know how many liters of it it's going to take per hectare here. So let's go ahead and jump into that. Just got done with that digestate, and it's actually really, really interesting. So it costs the exact same amount as slurry. So whether you're using digestate or slurry, they cost exactly the same amount. But we didn't quite use as much, which is really, really cool. So let's go ahead and jump over here to the map. As you can see right here, everything is the way that it should be. We got up to 200 here, and we got up to 180 there. So good to go on that. And if we hit our economic analysis here, you can see that we actually only used 45,459 liters. So quite a bit less than with the slurry. I'm not quite sure why that is, but it is. And it ended up only being $1,545. So it's not as expensive, but it's still more expensive than if I was just to use manure by itself. So still, liquid fertilizer all the way is the cheapest right now. Now, if you are getting this for absolutely free, man, why not, right? There's the only investment you're going to have is making the silage, and you're going to make money from that too. So I see this as viable. Definitely viable. It's going to take a little bit to get there. And this is only a 1 hectare field. So small field. If you had a really big field, 10, 15 of these, it's going to take a lot of digestate. So you might have to supplement like one pass, one stage, with this, and then finish up the rest with something else. So that could be definitely something for you also. But remember, it's going to give you 80 points right here. If you do it before or after the seeds are in the ground, it's 80 points of nitrogen. So I feel like that's a little bit more than what it first was. I believe that manure and slurry were like 40 points of nitrogen, and now they're 80. But we're not going to get into that right now. What we're going to do next is actually take a look and probably do a combo. And I want to do manure first, because that is the cheapest of all of the extra options, like so the non-fertilizers, right? So of your organic fertilizers, I want to go and run manure first, and then we're going to finish up with liquid. So that's the 2 cheapest options that we have, and that's the way we're going to go and see how that looks as a total price. It's going to be interesting. It really is. I don't think it's going to be cheaper, but it's going to show what it's going to cost for each of those, in case you do have manure available to you for free from cows or pigs. So let's jump over and look at that. All right, everybody, we just finished up with that combo here. So what we did is we put manure down first, then our seeds, and then came back with liquid fertilizer. So everything looks great. It was 2 passes. We obviously spent a little bit more on a worker than we would have if we'd have just done liquid fertilizer by itself. But if you're getting the manure for free, it's, I think, a really great idea. And that way you're not having to really, have a ton of manure. So let's go ahead and take a look at the map here, and we'll see exactly how this looks. On nitrogen, you can see once again we're at 200 here, and we're at 160 and 180. So everything did exactly as it was supposed to, so we're perfect there. Now if we look at the economic analysis, what it shows us is that we actually used 13,302 liters of manure. So that comes out to about $479. And then we used 403 liters of our liquid fertilizer, and that comes out to $572. So that gives us a total of $1,011. So that's about $200 more expensive than using liquid fertilizer over the whole thing. But like I said, if you're getting your manure for free, I think it's an absolutely awesome way to do it. Absolutely awesome. And you can see there on the liquid fertilizer, it says that it was $403. When we did this before, it was $619. So we're still using about 2/3, roughly, of what we would the other way. So you're saving a little bit, but not a great deal. So just wanted to give that to you as a option to show you that too, as the combo deal, the 2 cheapest organic and I don't want to say artificial, but non-organic types thrown together, how that would work. So I think I'm going to go liquid fertilizer all the way, unless I've got some manure. If I've got manure or slurry or digestate laying around, I'll throw that down 1 pass probably, and then put liquid on top of it. But yeah, I hope you learned something today or enjoyed the video. If you did, go and give me a thumbs up if you would. If you want to be kept up to date on all my latest precision farming videos, think about hitting that subscribe button. And if you do, hit the notification bell too. Have a great day, everybody. Until next time, this is Driver 53, signing off.